talking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't mind. I just wanted to know. I say weird shit sometimes.
Actually, I have mature content, that's why it's fine.
Mm.
Kinda mature content for Twitch, I don't know, for YouTube as well.
Okay.
Mm. 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 Okay. Huh? Mm. 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 Huh. God damn it. Okay, never mind. Mm. 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 Mhm. Mm. Mhm. Actually, I want to test something on this pig. Mm. 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 Mhm. Mm. Mhm. Mm.
Oops.
I think Skyblock at its
Mm.
64 to go. 31, 10 million subscribers. Let's go. Let's go. 10 million subscribers. Has given us all these presents.
What are you watching now?
The little boys and girls across.
Elbow reveal. You know some tricks. Technoblade. Interesting.
Wait, yes. I need to find out how to get. Hmm. I just found something, but I think I need to find as well. God damn.
I followed you on Twitch.
Ah, thanks. I'm kind of trying to find something right now. Kind of important. Oh, it's textured. I think it's Optifine. Wait, I need to check which version of Pack it is.
How's it? Did you crash? Why aren't you playing? Or were you just testing? No, you're playing now.
I want to test this one, but it didn't work.
Techno. Why is the thing called Techno?
Actually, I'm gonna switch Modpack for now to see it's for.
Okay.
I need to see if it works on one particular version. But I need to find. Okay. Better MC. Better MC storage. Okay.
Oh, that's the wrong one. For now, it's gonna be something else. Oh, okay. Huh.
Hmm. Seriously? I should pick one this one. God damn. Huh. Mm. Mm. I kinda did a mistake.
Oh. What did you do?
I kinda click update all modes.
Oh. Oops.
Yeah. Mm.
Where are you from?
I will
Baruto.
type in stream chat. Just need.
Whatever.
I will type in stream chat or stream chat. Mm. Huh? Mm. 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 Okay. I need to install Optifine because it's forced with Optifine, only Optifine, but okay. Hmm.
So I'm here with a gold nugget and an elytra with a modified texture. I'm going to put the gold nugget into this anvil and rename it to gold coin. And now we have a coin. You can see that it's still a gold nugget, but its texture changed when I changed the name. I'll also put this elytra in the anvil. Now that I've renamed it, you can see that the texture has changed. I can even have it change to a third variant. You can see it even keeps the texture when I wear it. Optifine has a feature for resource packs called Sit. It's similar to vanilla custom model data, but it allows for armor textures and models to be swapped, and allows for more requirements like stack size, name, or enchantment. I'll start with an example, then show you how to make one yourself. Here I have a resource pack. I'm going to navigate here and create a folder called Optifine. In that folder, I'll create another called Sit. Now we're going to open a text editor like Notepad or TextEdit. Make sure it's plain text. We'll need to start by defining what we want to modify.
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna switch to my phone because I'm gonna walk a bit.
We'll write which item we want to change. Let's use a gold nugget. Make sure you use the file name. For example, book and quill would be writable_book. Then we need to point to a replacement texture. I have an image here called gold coin. I'll drop it into the sit folder. Now we need to write the name of it here. Once we've done that, we can choose a requirement. I'll use nbt.display.name, so the texture changes when the name is changed. That's all we need. I'll save this as goldcoin.properties and put it in the sit folder. Now I'm in game, and when I rename a gold nugget to gold coin, its texture changes. Now I'll go over everything you need to make your own. I also recommend you see the official documentation. It'll be linked below. Back in the text editor, we don't have to use an item. We have 4 choices. Item, enchantment, armor, and elytra. We already looked at item. Enchantment replaces the normal enchantment glint texture. Armor changes armor textures. And elytra changes the texture of elytra. You'll then need to specify which item you want to change. Now, you can either change the texture or model. You can leave this part empty if the name of the file is the same as your texture or model.
Косметика!
Now, we choose the requirement that has to be met in order to change the texture and model. Damage changes the texture and model if the item's durability reaches a certain value or range. While this is possible in vanilla, Sit allows for armor and elytra. Stack size changes the texture and model if the item is in a stack of a certain size. Enchantments changes the texture and model based on the enchantments it has. Hand changes the texture and model based on the hand it is in. NBT changes the texture and model if the item has a specified NBT value. This one's a bit more complicated, so I recommend you see the official documentation. So I'm here. So you can see that it's called gold coin. I'll drop it into the sit folder. That's all we need. I'll save this.
Oh, you are back. Okay. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Reģistrējies Joker LV un saņem 250 bezriska griezienus. Joker LV.
Melnā izpārdošana Universal veikalā Elkor Plaza no 8. jūnija.
Hello, my name is Ewan and today I'll be showing you how to make custom entity models using Optifine. The first thing I'll show you how to do is set up a basic resource pack with a simple custom entity model. And then open the folder. Inside here, we need a pack.mc meta file, which is what tells the game that this is a valid resource pack, what version of the game it's for, and also gives it a description. So in Windows and you delete it, and then this will be the description of the pack. So this is what tells me Google that you can save the file, and that's if you just tutorials creating a resource pack, you can go to here and then you scroll down, and then you have all the pack format numbers here. There you go. 8 is for version 1.18.x, and as you can see here, 9 will be for 1.19. So that's an easy way to find your pack format number. Okay, so then inside the resource, I'm going to make a folder called mine, and finally in custom entity. So let's open the game and see if this resource pack appears. It's a world just full of every single entity, which makes it really good for testing entity models. So we'll be using this. Okay, let's start by just changing the model of, let's say, the creeper. So to get started, we're going to use a program called Blockbench, and we're going to need a plugin. Now this plugin can be found from File, Plugins, and available, you'll find CEM Template Loader. If it's not at the top, you can just search it. I'm going to tell you to use it. Okay. Or you can go to Tools and load CEM Template Model. So just click the button, and then you'll see all these tabs down the side. So the ones that you should normally use are just the supported ones. So these are all the regular models. The unsupported ones here, these are the entities that you cannot change. The legacy models are ones for older versions. So the version number that you see here is the last version that that model works in or is made for. So this dragon model for 1.14, it might also work in 1.13 and 1.12 and so on. But the latest one that is for is 1.14. And then any newer one uses the main one in the supported tab. So we go to the supported tab, we select the creeper, we can load it with the vanilla texture just so we can see it better, and click load. And there we go, there's a creeper template. So from here you'll see that it has the texture on the left, it has the bone structure on the meant for save. You can see model and game. So duplicate the head with Ctrl D and drag it up just. You can see here's the model, here's all the parts, head, body. An easy way to reload a resource pack in game is by pressing F3 and T, or if you have like extra buttons on those function keys, you can press function F3 and T, and that should do it. Now here you go, you can see the model has changed shape, but something important to note is that the texture is a pink and black missing texture. That you have a texture defined in your model, but you don't have the actual texture in the CEM folder. If you look in the output, and then go to settings, and then open the output log when Minecraft Java Edition starts. If you turn that on, you have to restart the game to get it to occur. But since I already had it enabled, I have the output log right here. So if you look in here, you can see the errors related to the pack. And you see here, failed to load texture, Optifine CEM creeper.png. Now that happened because if we look in the model, you'll see I've got a creeper.png here. But if we go to the folder, there's no creeper.png here. And there's two ways to fix this. The first way is by actually putting that texture in this folder. We can do that by saving it. It's already set to that path. And then creeper.png, save. We go back to the folder, see it's now there. And if we go in game, F3T to reload, the creeper now has the texture. It's all working properly. The other way to fix this would be to, let's just delete that texture again. We go back to Blockbench. This time we're going to right click this and delete that. So now there's no texture, we can save it. We go back to the folder and open it in a text editor again. You'll see there is no longer a texture defined in here, only a texture size. So we go back in game and reload that. We'll see that it's still working. Now the texture it's using now is actually just the default creeper texture. So if you wanted to edit this, you can do it by editing the location of the default creeper texture. One important thing to note about the creeper is the charged creeper armor. You can't model that. That's unsupported. It's in the unsupported category if we have a look at that. Tools, unsupported. There you go. Where is it? Creeper charge, unsupported. So you can't change that creeper charge itself. So that's the basic way to remodel it into a frog. There, let's have another example. Classic one with the rabbit into a frog. There are frogs coming in to the ears. So, frog. If I go back and look at this frog, you see that the top of the foot is flickering. Now this occurs, it's called Z-fighting. This occurs when two textures, or two cubes, are overlapping. There you go. They're overlapping at the exact same spot. Now there's two ways you can fix this, or three ways you can fix this. One way is by just texturing it the same color, so that you can't actually see it, because it's flickering the same color. Another way is to, let me move this back out. Another way is to just offset one of the cubes slightly. So if I move this one down, if I hold control, it will go a little bit down. There we go. Although you can make that even less if you really wanted to. And the final way is by inflating it slightly. Now inflating it, as you can see, this option here just makes it larger or smaller. So if we inflate it by 0.01, it'll go ever so slightly larger, and then it won't Z-fight anymore because it's above it rather than the same level as it. So that's an easy way to fix those. We can do that for the other one quickly. That one, and that one. You can hold control and click them to select multiple. So 0.01, 0.001, there we go. Let's do the same on that one, 0.001, even less. So now they're all lined up like that, and they won't Z-fight anymore. And as you can see, it's not Z-fighting. But let's test it again with the removing the texture. So if I delete it from here, you don't need to delete it from this folder. You can just leave it there for now. You need to save it though. Save. And then back in game, we'll see that it instead loads the default frog textures. Frog textures, rabbit textures. So if you wanted different types of frogs, you can instead replace the rabbit textures with different color frogs. And then you'll find that when you spawn them in game like this, they'll have all their different textures. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is make randomized entity models. And by randomized, I mean not like having different frog variants, I mean the shape of the entity model itself. So to do that, let's go on the Iron Golem. So in here again, in Blockbench, we're going to go to Load, Entity, Template, and we're going to go to the Iron Golem. Load. Let's make, what should we make? The nose. That's now we can see every single one. So it's here, vanilla assets, and we don't want the head because we have you'll see an exact mirror of this entity file, which means that if I'm randomizing this Iron Golem texture here, it needs to be in the exact same location. If you're randomizing a villager and you're randomizing a profession skin like the armorer, so we click Minecraft Optifine, random entity, Iron Golem, and then we have the texture here. If I edit that in the texture editor, it'll be a lot faster to remove the head, the nose, the arm, and the other arm, and also this random bit that's not even used. And then save that to the custom head we made. We can now start texturing it with our new head and arms for our variant. Okay, click the star and it will mirror for default Iron Golem. But if we go outside, there's a flying pig, and we'll summon an Iron Golem. If we summon enough of them, some of them are randomized because they're random. That's what randomness is. So now we have these terrifying beasts. Look at them. Hello, my name is Ewan, and today I'll be showing you how to restore the folder and updates will be here. Do that models using .minecraft folder. So I'm just going to call it test pack, and then open the folder. Okay, we can make that. Might have file name, read it. Easy way to do it. So let's open the game and see if this. And inside there, we're going to make a folder called Minecraft. And to find folder, we see test. So there we go. That is lots of different things about Optifine entity models and how to use them. I hope that helped. So now we need to animate this ring so it only shows up in the water. Let me just center that pivot point on it. There again. If not is on ground, it rotates 45 degrees, otherwise it says at 0. These are some animations. You can read this if you want to know more. We'll see down here. Like an animation like this, you can just ignore it, just leave it there and it won't break anything. The only thing you need to do is when you click play, you'll see the body flips up, but then there's this button here which you can enable by toggle more options, which will say disable this group rotating or playing animations. You can turn that on and then it will just ignore any rotations applied, so that when you click play nothing happens to it, so it displays correctly in block. It only shows up in the water. Let me just center that pivot point on it there again. If we look at the documentation, we'll see down here the if statement. So that means if condition value, condition 2, value 2, so on, and then value else. If we look in the examples, there's an example on if statement up here. Yep. See, if is on the ground, or if not is on the ground, it rotates 45 degrees, otherwise it says at 0. These are some animations. You can read this if you want to know more about it. So for this one, we're going to add an animation for ring, and for this ring we want to hide it, and there's two ways you can hide it. If we look here, you'll see the variable names. We can scale along the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, so we're going to do scaling. So ring dot rs, no rs, sx for ring scaling along the x-axis. And if we just set that at 0, you'll see that when I click play, it completely flattens itself. So what we're going to do here is add 2 quotation marks and then if And then if we look at the documentation again, you'll see in the entity parameters there is in water if the entity is touching water. So if it is in water, and then add a comma, and then this is what happens if it is in the water. So if it is in the water, we don't want anything to happen to the ring. It stays at 1. Scale 1 is default. So then if it isn't in water, which is what happens after, this is the else statement. So if this, do this, otherwise do this. If it isn't in the water, we want to scale it to 0. So now when you click play, you'll see it's scaled to 0, and if I tick on is in water, it goes back out. So we can add this for the z-axis, or the y-axis instead. And if you do that now, we should see it completely disappears. It is actually inside the pig, and it is one long 2D plane. So you can do it on all 3 axes, x, y, and z. And now it just goes to a single point, but you can't even see it when it's with only 2, so you might as well only do 2. There we go. Smaller pig on the side, he's got no ring, he's walking away, he does not want to go in the water. Let's try a different pig. We punch him in, and he gets a ring. And he gets out, and he's no longer got a ring. This guy's got a ring, but he wants to get out. Why do all the pigs hate the water? Let's put a bunch in here, shall we? So they all have rings. Now I said before there are 2 ways to get rid of this ring. The other way is by just moving it really far away. If I do ring.tx, it translates along the x-axis. If you look at the documentation, they're here. Translates along the x-axis. If it is in water, it goes to 1, otherwise it stays at 0. If I press play, there we go, you see it's now moving. So if I make this number massive, this first one is to be 0, this second one is moving it when it's not in water. So if I make this massive, then it just moves really far away when it's not in water. That's another way of doing it. Let's go back to the other one. The other one's cleaner. There you go. So, anyway, back to what I said before. There are 2 ways of doing this texture. This is the expanding one, which is good because it's just one texture, it's nice and easy to do, but you might not want to do that. So the other way of doing it is if I edit this texture to be just the ring. We can see that it's broken in here again. We can just change this back to 64 by 32. And this pig looks broken, but if I bring up the default assets and add the pig texture back in, you see that the pig looks correct and the ring looks correct when I move it into the right position. There we go. The ring is correct when the ring is loaded and the pig is correct when the pig is loaded. So what we can do now is delete both of those, save this. If I go in game, it's going to look broken because it's only loading the vanilla texture at the moment. But what we can do is inside the model in a text editor, if I find pig and open it in here, what you can do is you can find the folder, here you go, ring, and you can add texture, and then this is just going to be pig.png, which will load this texture here, which is the ring texture. So now we try in game, you'll see they now have the ring and it hides again. So now that part is using a separate texture. If this texture was also a different size, then you just add the texture size thing to it as well, like that. With like the different size, so 64 to 64. But yeah, that's how you can use multiple textures. Blockbench doesn't support it, but you can do it manually. And once you've done it, let me close Blockbench. Once you've added it once, if you try to open it in Blockbench, you'll see you can't actually see it, but if you save the model, it shouldn't get removed. There you go. It moved around, but it's still there. So Blockbench won't remove it, but you can't change it in Blockbench. So there we go. That is lots of different things about Optifine entity models and how to use them. I hope that helped. If you need...
Mhm. Mhm.
Creep it up, Jim. Save.
Reģistrējies Joker LV un saņem 250 bezriska griezienus. Joker LV.
Those fake ads really drive you mad, huh? The game looks so fun in the ads, but when you download it, it's a
Hi, my name is Blossom, and I'm gonna be learning you how to make a name-dependent texture pack in Minecraft. So I'm gonna be making a texture pack for a sword. Resource testing. Create a and Optifine. One named Gorent TIT. Organized. I recommend creating another folder and name it whatever you want. Oh, I spelled that wrong, but it doesn't matter. So, first thing you need to do is create a texture or a drawing of whatever. You need to draw whatever your sword wants to be. For example, so I'm using Nova Skin because it's really easy to make. Search for the sword and click on the diamond one. So now, for example, if you have your item finished but more detailed, you can choose the scale like so. Once you have your item finished, click on save and write that you created into your resource pack and paste what I typed in here. So the type is the item is diamond sword and netherite sword. That means that I can rename a diamond sword and a netherite sword to get the same texture. And if you wanna make a texture pack, for example a shovel, then delete the word swords and type. Now for the display name, create whatever name you want. So for example, I'm gonna be naming it copy you downloaded them. When you have your copy, go into your texture pack and paste them. And just like that. Oh wait. For example, my texture pack. Copy these two. Now hop into Minecraft. And as you see, it works. And that's how you make a texture pack. Thank you for
31 tiny texture updates Minecraft should add. Minecraft's tech things that the game could fix. So today, let's take a peek at
Hi, my name is Bob.
Reģistrējies Joker LV un saņem 250 bezriska griezienus. Joker LV.
Do you want to learn a bit more about how to implement custom model data to your items in Java Minecraft? Well, if that's the case, this video is exactly. We're not just gonna see how easy it is to implement. But wait a second. Before we can do any of that, we need to make ourselves the actual item that we're gonna put to file, export it in. You can see that we have a folder called assets in a file called. In the models file, we can find another folder called item, and this is super important. There's also an image here called pack. That is the little IO. There are 2 folders, and all of the folders and files till this point are super important for your research. Another folder and items, models. In a second. Right? So let's take a look at what the file looks like. First up, we're going to take a look at the custom model we made. Custom item. Fine. Common issues that I find people have when they contact me about stuff.
Hello. Oh, just wait. I can send you what I'm trying to do, but okay. Wait. Where's my stream? Are you watching my stream or no? Because I don't.
No, I'm playing my game, sadly.
Mm. Okay. Let's open cheat menu. Oh. Mm.
But also another problem with my Twitch, it won't work. I don't know why.
Then I should send. I have also the same stream on this one. I'm streaming also on YouTube. Just need to. I'm gonna change my stream title. Are you watching my YouTube? Are you watching my stream? Wait, what? What? Seriously? Game somehow crashed. I need to quickly stop my stream.